Hello, and welcome to Griffon Update. I'm Narissa Lee.
And I'm Thomas Delgado. Griffon Update is our student-produced digital magazine show bringing you news, sports, and information from Missouri Western State University and the surrounding region.
During each program, we will present an in-depth look at the people, places, and events that make Missouri Western and the Northwest region of Missouri a great place to call home.
Today we are coming to you from the atrium of the Home of the Sciences here at Missouri Western. On the show, we will take a look at the intense rivalry between the Missouri Western Griffons and their nemesis to the north.
We will also celebrate Native American History Month.
And we'll give you some great information on how and where to deal with the stress of finals. Every year, the Northwest Missouri and Missouri Western game is always the biggest game of the season. The two teams have met 36 times. Reporter Albert Shelby examines the history of the rivalry through his eyes and other Western students.
Both teams have grown to dislike each other over the years. You can say that some of the dislike has trickled down to the schools and their respective fans. There have been 36 total meetings between the two, with Northwest controlling with a 24-12 lead over Western. With Missouri Western's most recent win occurring in 2012, the Griffons have dropped twice to the Bearcats. A year ago, Northwest came into Sprott Stadium and handed them their worst loss of the season, 51-21. This year, Western traveled to Maryville and also came back with the worst loss of their 2014 season. All-MIAA running back Raphael Spencer has been a member of the Griffons since 2011, and he feels that the rivalry is one of the best in Division II football.
Well, it's a lot of factors. One being that they're literally like 40 miles away. It's always an intense game as far as just them competing with us and then us competing with their crowd too. And you think about the dynamics as far as you got people in St. Joe, people that go here that rock Northwest attire, and honestly, you probably couldn't say the same thing about Maryville and the people that I don't think there are a lot of people that wear Missouri Western stuff. But
although the two teams normally dislike each other, Spencer said he has grown to respect one particular thing about the Bearcats.
I respect from Northwest is that I can tell each time we play them that it's more than just a game for them. I can tell that they're very competitive, and I think it starts from the coaches too. Like it starts from up top, and I think it trickles down to the athletes. You can just see them because we play against them. You can just tell how active the coaches are, and it really rubs off on especially the D line. It just really just needs to start that we're not gonna take no more. This is my last crack at beating them, and this offseason is very crucial.
Next year, the Bearcats will travel once again to Sprott Stadium, where Spencer will get his last shot against his rival school.
The rivalry may be one of the fiercest rivalries in Division II sports. To see the highlights for this year's rival game, visit gogriffons.com for all sports at Missouri Western. We'll be right back.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Welcome back. Every fall, the art students at Missouri Western have the opportunity to show off their talent. The Student Art Juried show featured the hard work that is carefully selected to exhibit in the Potter Hall Gallery. Mason Marshall reports.
This fall, students in the art department got a chance to show off their work in the second annual Student Art Juried show. The works of art in the show are those that students worked on in their classes. Then, their masterpieces were selected by an art expert who has no affiliation with Missouri Western to be shown in the gallery. Dr. Bob Willenbrink explains why this is important to all students.
The Student Art Juried show has been going on for several years. I think, however, this is the first time it's been done in the fall. I think it's all generally been done in the spring, and this is the first time it's been done in the fall. I think that students in general, first of all, the art students, it's an honor for them to have their work selected. And it's something they can put on their resume as they move out into the world. I think the general student population will benefit from seeing the work of their colleagues. Some of it's quite remarkable and quite good. So I think all of those things play into why students should participate in the art show. Yeah, students submit their art and it is selected to be included in the exhibit. So it's an honor to be selected and have that work submitted.
Heather Andrews was selected for the art show and won a Jurors Award for her work.
Completing this work took overall about a month, really probably close to 2 months. Working on it in a classroom setting is difficult because you're working on it 2 hours here, 2 hours there, so it's hard to estimate what the actual amount of time was, but I know I put in about 40 to 50, maybe 60 hours on this particular project.
Shayna Mixon was also selected for the art show.
My project was taken with a 35mm film camera with a black and white film. It was for Photomedia 1 class. The assignment was to capture light and shadow. So I went around St. Joseph and I took a picture of a sculpture that's down the sculpture walk in St. Joseph. And this is actually, the second one is Christmas lights that I turned while having a slow shutter speed.
Well, the students should come see the artwork, first of all, to support their fellow students. I think that's important. And secondly, I think that what they're seeing is they're finding pieces of work that will touch them, that will move them, that will inform them. And it's just a wonderful educational experience. It's a quality art show. It's an outstanding art show that exhibits the finest work of our students, and that will enhance their life. That's the number one reason in life enhancement.
The Student Art Juried Show ran through November 3rd to the 21st. For more information about the show, visit the Potter Hall offices or go to missouriwestern.edu/art.
The Student Art Juried Show is always a fun and artistic experience for those who wander through the gallery. The exhibit shows off the hard work and talent of the Missouri Western students.
The Student Art Show was one of the many talents on display in Potter Hall this fall. Missouri Western's second theatrical production of the season, The Pirates of Penzance, set sail this November. Jenny Swope and Christina Wade have the story.
The Pirates of Penzance opened with a bang in Potter Hall this November, treating patrons to a weekend of song, dance, and sword fighting.
Pirates is like, I think probably my new favorite, in brute honesty.
It's very whimsical. We have lots of bright colors, lots of crazy choreography going on. The characters are just completely ridiculous.
There's some good comedy, some good interjecting. There's some characters who will steal the show away. You'll know who they are when you see them. Towards the end of the show, there's some good action, some combat and stuff on stage, and then it ends on a pretty fair note.
The operetta was written by the famed duo Gilbert and Sullivan and first premiered in 1879. The play centers on poking fun at Victorian aristocracy by way of tender pirates, cowardly policemen, and prudish sisters.
And Gilbert and Sullivan, if you are familiar with Monty Python, is Monty Python before Monty Python was a thing. They're parodying Victorian England. They're a parody, they're satire, they're brilliant satire. They're making fun of traditional opera, musical theater, British noble class in particular.
All of the characters are sort of based on this commedia dell'arte style, which Gilbert and Sullivan just sort of co-opted into this operetta.
The play is the only play in recent years at Missouri Western to feature a full orchestra ensemble, which provided expanded opportunities for theater and music students alike.
One major thing that sets this show apart from the rest of the shows this season is that this is really an operetta. There's really only about 5% of this show that is spoken only.
And it's a way to unify music, dance, and theater in the new fine arts school of fine arts. And so again, it just makes sense. We have opera studies, and now with a musical theater director and a musical theater concentration. Again, it's sort of a no-brainer.
Pirates of Penzance showcased both seasoned university actors as well as fresh faces to Missouri Western's stage.
This is my first college production. I've been in productions in high school, just small ones like You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, Annie, also Godspell. This one is much bigger, much more time-consuming. I've never had to take part in a role that required so much effort and time and a lot of character development.
We're going to talk about the big elephant in the room. The biggest adjustment to getting into this character was the two beavers that I have attached to the side of my face. I've been growing this beard for a month, and right after I saw my costume for the first time, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to shave this off and get it done.
What? Oh my gosh! Do you want tweezers?
And the moment that I did, I was like, okay, yeah, I can kind of see who this guy is. I mean, it's one thing to know that I'm going to be wearing mutton chops, but it's another thing entirely to look in a mirror and see that on your face.
The costume, makeup, and set design were all held to Victorian theater standards to adhere to the time period of the show. Many of the costumes were handmade, adding to the authenticity.
And it's also different because it's more of a classic show because it's Gilbert and Sullivan. So it's been around for quite a long time, but we've found a way to kind of revamp it and make it different.
Don Lilly did the set design for the show. Again, we're sticking really close to the way Gilbert and Sullivan, that time period and how sets were designed, so everything's pretty much a facade that's been painted.
We call it a painter show because it's all painted. It's cut out, it's painted. We don't make any pretense at all that this is real rocks and real this and real that. It's very theatrical, which would be 1887, the way they would do it.
I don't have very many lighting cues in this. It's really about costumes and performance. That's just the way Gilbert Sullivan work.
We'll throw just a tad bit of modernization to it, but very little. And so if Queen Victoria was to walk in, she'd be very comfortable watching the show. We would be very scared because of the apparition, but yeah, it would play real close to the way it would have been seen in 1887.
The cast and crew of Pirates only hope their audiences found an escape from the everyday rigors of their lives and lost themselves in a classic tale of piracy and policy.
I want them to remember how much fun they had watching it, how just, especially in contrast to anything serious they've ever seen. I want them to see how it's just a barrel of laughs.
It really is the type of show where you can just kind of come and check your brain at the door and just have fun.
I hope that they come and they enjoy it and they get to laugh with us and they get to just for a little while escape and just enjoy the humor and have a good positive evening out, to just get away. There's so much in the world that isn't fun right now that it's nice to have a night out at the theater and to just laugh a little and just forget everything. So that's what I hope. I hope they can just come and have a good time.
Pirates of Penzance ran for 4 showings, taking its final curtain call after a Sunday matinee. For more information on Missouri Western's upcoming shows, check out the Missouri Western Theater, Cinema, and Dance website. For Jenny Swope, this is Christina Wade with Griffon Update.
If you missed the Pirates of Penzance, you missed a swashbuckling good time. Narissa, I really loved the positive outlook and the fresh faces that the Pirates of Penzance brought. What did you enjoy about it?
My favorite part was our handmade costumes by our costumer.
Well, be sure to catch Missouri Western's next shows, 3 Days of Rain in Urinetown, opening in the spring.
Well, we've talked about art and theater. What about music? Following the countless hours of practice and hard work in the guitar program here at Missouri Western, senior Brent Isom performed his senior recital as partial fulfillment in his degree. Producer Krista Haig and Victoria Higgs have more.
Missouri Western senior Brent Isom has been playing guitar since he was 13 years old. Currently a student in the guitar program, Brent has been working towards a bachelor's degree in music and a concentration in music technology. As part of studying guitar at Missouri Western, students get the chance to perform a senior recital.
The guitar facet of the program is just like the instrument that you study, and so I chose to study guitar as my primary instrument. And what it consists of is 2 years of just studying classical guitar, and then 2 years of studying like commercial styles like pop and country, jazz, rock, stuff like that. And my experience has been really positive. In fact, I think it's probably one of the best things I've taken away from Missouri Western. As far as other things I've learned, that to me is probably one of the most crucial, and also an area that I've really learned a lot.
Influenced by his musically inclined dad, Brent started singing and pursuing guitar on more than just a hobby level. For the past 4 years, Brent has been studying guitar under the instruction of Anthony Gliss and Jason Riley.
Well, I've had great experiences with teachers here. I found them to be accessible, really willing to help, to take time out of their schedules to meet with you, whether it be for a class or for lessons, to make up or schedule around things that are happening.
Brent worked 5 hours a day for 2 weeks to prepare for his recital, and feels that if anyone wants to pursue a music profession, working hard is a key factor.
I think you gotta love it. You gotta be willing to, it's gotta be important enough to you that you will put the time into practice, that you'll seek out the opportunities. That's been something I've tried to be more diligent about doing. And then you've got to practice. I think that's the next most important thing. I think having a love for it will kind of support you through all the other things you kind of have to overcome to go with it. But love doing it, be passionate about doing it, believe it's what you are supposed to do, and then work really, really hard at it. And try to learn as much as you can about different styles, different players. Play with a lot of different people that are better than you. It makes you better.
During Brent's senior recital, he performed solo acts as well as with friends, Wyatt Wooden and Max Hudson.
I met Brent through the guitar program here, just kind of through the guitar recitals and stuff. Got to know him and hear him perform, and him with me, and we just became friends after that.
I don't know Brent very well. Brent is just somebody who plays in the jazz program, and I like jazz, so Brent and I got along. And he asked me to play, and I was like, of course.
Brent's like a super positive, friendly guy, and I think that kind of goes over into the way he treats running a rehearsal and like running an ensemble. So it's just very friendly and relaxed, and he's just a good guy to work with.
Brent's plans after graduation are still undecided, but one thing is for sure, he is going to keep pursuing his love for music.
For more information or interest in guitar lessons or advice about the guitar program here at Missouri Western, students can reach Brent Isom at bisom@missouriwestern.edu. We'll be right back.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Well, Narissa, the snow's already fallen this fall. Were you ready for it?
No, not at all. I already had to bring out my big coat.
Well, it's time to prepare for more than just a dusting. Some of the students around campus have criticized Western's policy, both on inclement weather closings as well as sidewalk and road clearing after large winter weather events. Reporter Andy Garrison caught up with a couple of them, and here it is what they had to say. Andy?
With the recent early snow shower, it's time for Western students to start thinking about what they need to do to prepare for winter weather. Commuter student Linda Cobb explains that especially if you don't live on campus, there are several things students can do to make sure their vehicles will make it to campus.
Make sure you have good tires or a set of chains. Always have the antifreeze checked, make sure it floats at least to 20 below zero. Carry an extra bottle of heat for the gas line. Top off the gas tank so there's no chance of moisture getting in the fuel line to shut it down.
Cobb also says the winter months can be especially hard on those of us that need to drive in.
It's a lot harder because I live out on gravel, so you not only have the snow drifts and the packed down snow that makes the ice on the gravel, a lot of the outer roads they do not clear off until way after it quits snowing. They'll hit the interstates, but there's been times the interstates have been closed down too.
Cobb says that if it gets too bad this year, she's prepared to go above and beyond to avoid dangerous situations on the roadways.
And if it gets too bad, I'll be sleeping in the car. I'd rather be safe and a little bit chilly as to wreck my car, hit somebody else, and injure somebody else.
While Cobb is optimistic about how Western will handle winter storms this year, not all students feel that Western has a good track record in past years.
Sidewalks are hardly ever salted. People fall constantly. They never cancel on the days they should cancel, and
McCourt does say that she has seen some improvement over the years, but doesn't think that Western has done enough.
I think they have improved. I remember like one year it was so bad, people were just literally like sliding their way to class. So I mean, it's gotten better, but it still sucks.
She also has a few ideas on what Western should do this winter to make campus safer for all students.
Make sure all the walkways are salted. Maybe have people go and do it 2 to 3 times a day because it tends to refreeze. Also cancel on days when the school district's canceled. They tend to cancel when it's pretty bad out. Most people don't even come in.
For Griffon Update, this is James Garrison reporting.
Thanks, Andy. With the recent weather maker just passing through already in early November, I hope that Western's maintenance department is ready for a white winter this year.
Well, if snow doesn't get you down, is the stress of finals catching up to you? Do you need someone to talk to about school, personal problems, or future career plans? Look no further than the Counseling Center right here on campus. Daniel Cobb reports.
College isn't exactly a walk in the park. On top of that, students must deal with frequent stress and personal problems that can certainly make life a bit difficult. Fortunately, Missouri Western's Counseling Center is here to help. Counselors help students with a variety of problems and are there to ensure that those students always have someone to talk to. Counselor Steve Potter has been employed by Missouri Western for 26 years and believes that the Counseling Center can be an incredibly beneficial resource for students.
We just try to serve students with any concern or issue or problem that they may have. And one of the few things I think I've learned in life is that we all have those issues and concerns, and we have things bothering us. And a lot of our students find it beneficial to come in, sit down one-on-one with a professional counselor, someone who's objective, and just allowing them that time and space to kind of talk about their concerns, and then just see if we can kind of come up with some strategies and ways to deal with whatever issue that might be.
Kathy Lau, the administrative assistant for the Counseling and Accessibility Resource Center, doesn't want students to be afraid to come in and ask for help when they need it.
I've had students that approach and says, I don't feel comfortable in being here, but I feel like I need help. And I try to assure them that they're not the only ones that have, felt that particular way, that we are open here, the counselors are here to help them. I tell them everything is done free of charge too, which is wonderful. You don't have too many things that you don't have to pay for nowadays, but it is a free of charge service. Everything's kept confidential, so I always encourage them to at least try it. And if you really still feel uncomfortable, maybe there's another means the counselor can help you to find to help you with your issue. And most of them will say, yeah, this was really nice. They'll come back.
Potter agrees and thinks that making the decision to see a counselor can be a very scary experience for many students.
Asking for help, that is hard for a lot of students, and a lot of students, it's kind of scary to come through those doors for the first time because they don't know what to expect. But we usually try to do our best to make each student feel at ease and comfortable.
Potter is also aware that there are many stigmas attached to seeing a counselor. However, he believes that talking to a counselor can be very beneficial, especially when it comes to personal problems in a student's life.
I think there's some myths about counseling too. I know when I was a college student, and this was before I knew what I was going to do, when I heard the word counseling, I automatically assumed that, you're in trouble, so you have to go see a counselor, or that meant that, something's really drastically wrong with you, and that's usually not the case with our students. It's an everyday concern that they might be having usually. Or I think a lot of times too, a lot of our students, when they hear counseling too, they assume that all we do is academic advising or we do career counseling. And really our niche is more the personal counseling.
With over 75 years of cumulative experience, the counselors at Missouri Western are always willing to help students. Those with certain disabilities, such as test-taking anxiety, can also make use of the offices, and that's what the Counseling Center is all about, making sure that students succeed in both school and life. This is Daniel Cobb with Griffon Update.
The Counseling Center is located in Eder Hall 203 and is open from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. You may also call 816-271-4327 to schedule your free appointment.
Our last story features the Center for Multicultural Education, helping Western celebrate Native American History Month. Reporter Taylor Allen has the report.
The Center for Multicultural Education at Missouri Western hosts month celebrations honoring cultures. In November, the CME hosted 2 events revolving around Native American Heritage Month. The first, hosted on Tuesday, November 11th, was the visit of the Native American Pride Dance Group. 3 Native Americans performed songs and dances that highlighted their different cultures. The dancers incorporated audience participation and questions into their performance. This event focused on informing the audience about the Native American culture. The second event, which occurred on Tuesday, November 18th, was the visit of Bunky Echohawk, a Native American artist and poet. He focused on educating the audience about current issues Native Americans are facing. Bunky performed a live painting, which he created in conjunction with the audience members' ideas. The end result was titled Buckskin Barbie, with the hope that it would portray the importance of not stereotyping Native Americans. Lindsay Moyer, an alumnus of Western, was in the audience at both of these events. She is working with the CME to complete her practicum.
The first one was more learning about their culture, the different dances they do, the songs they sing. It kind of, students could see more like what it's like at a powwow and different events that they have. And this one was more of a history, I feel, just learning more about the heritage and different symbols, what they mean.
Chris Miller, a graduate of Western, really enjoyed the Bunky Echohawk event.
It was a lot of fun, especially when he was painting the buckskin Barbie part and really asking for audience participation, and the audience, they were really into it. I really liked how me and everyone else were really into it. He really knew how to work with the crowd.
Miller said he was inspired by the events.
It's inspired me more because when I was a student at Missouri Western, I was writing a grant for Kickapoo Nation School for a new track to be built. So that experience did pique my interest in Native American history, especially in that particular area around Kickapoo Nation. But it's really inspired me to look more into Native American history overall across the nation, because I think we really need more of that history to complement the overall American experience, to educate people and to really help find all of ourselves in the process.
Moyer said that the CME is an important part of student life at Western.
I think the CME is probably one of the most influential and one of the best departments to have, because every student comes from a very diverse background. Not one person's the same, and to learn about all of your peers, where they come from, the person sitting next to you in class can be from a different race, and just to attend one event and just get more of an insight of what it's like to be them, I think that teaches cultural competency, and I think that's something that our nation lacks.
This is Taylor Allen reporting for Griffon Update.
For more information about cultural events on campus, contact the CME at 816-271-4150 or stop by their office in Blum 210. Well, that's our show. I hope you have enjoyed our look at the people, places, and events at Missouri Western.
We at Griffon Update want to thank you for watching and hope you join us in the future as we explore Missouri Western and the surrounding region.